Hello, hello. A little bit of clipping here. Boom. Nice to get this pattern going all the way up. Then we'll have these scales come down and blend in. The glow looks good though. Good lighting always helps though. Okay. Sorry, I'm eating at the same time. How to thicken these up? Be an interesting question. Everything looks so good though. Quite pleased with our progress right now. Okay. What's next? So we're working on the tail repeating pattern and just figuring that out right now. Eventually, I will have to use a separate material entirely. I hope that's not the case, though. Because that'd get really complicated. So we do have metallic and smoothness, texture and normal. It already looks quite good. Normals here are a little strong, and also they are clipping with themselves. That would be in here. I don't see any clipping here or here. So why is it showing up in our bake? I don't see any gaps either. Maybe something about the bake distance. Good. Good stuff. It's kind of intersecting here. There we go. Much better. It is going the wrong direction. That's on our tail. Well, I guess we could turn it around. Yeah, that's fine. No! Mother fudger. Because, yeah, we turn it around. That means we'd have to put the rotation the other way. One more time. At least it's quick. Well, that's already looking awesome. And I should be able to mix. There is a way to mix masks together. Say that 10 times fast. So I think I should be able to get this matte cap texture onto the plate scales. And if we do that, then things are going to look very good. I don't know if we want the scales. I kind of like it, but be a bit too much. Also, we're getting this issue there. It looks good though, and I like that it just repeats all the way to the end. It's like you really hope for, right? That says emission. Where is this emission value coming? No emission yet. So let's go to our original Nug body. We'll save this. Cool. And we'll go to material view. We're looking for the glow body stripes. That should be this one. Yes. And we'll just create a smart material, save. It took 1,000,000 billion years. they're not actually glowing yet. Also, the bottom scales are pointed the wrong way. And the spacing on these needs to improve. Really need to automate this. Better. Better. All right. We'll probably move the mask up a little bit, and then we need the scales from here to go onto the tail. Yep. Okay. Let's see what we can do. Okay. Let's update our texture. Go to shading. This is, yeah. Add a body here. Exit this. Shift Control T. Oh, grab this path right here. Cool. And it still looks a little odd. I put my finger on it. It's not the metallic. Flexion specular. That's good. Should be right. Oh, I see. Eh, we're on the wrong. Here's the actual texture. Cool. So we're going to mix some stuff now because we just want to kind of recreate the Poyomi shader here. So we're going to add a mix color. Oh. Now, this one will use the standard UV map. Have to differentiate which maps stuff is coming from. But here's the body mask. Oh. So in here, we've stored all of our values. GB. And I believe we'll do the I first. That's the factor. We'll take both of these, duplicate them, open up the IL beta, set this to UV 0, drop that here. Oh, green. Should be right. Ugh. Color there. That. Maybe it's cool. Cool. Nug body masks. Yes, that's what I want. I have it right here. It is empty. Let's reload this file. Oh, let's do right. Go. There we go. Okay, so now we have that. We're actually going to duplicate this, put this here, use its own alpha to blend it in. Okay, so now we can visualize the texture. Good. So let's go back to the high poly. Oh, we still can't visualize the tail texture, which was the whole point. So we need one more mix, and this time we'll actually do a mix shader, because that will be simpler. Maybe. I'd like to think it's going to be simpler. Will it? Who knows? I don't have to make it perfect. And this is on the blue. Just need to swap the inputs. And voila. Okay, we can at least see where it's supposed to line up. Back to layout. Back to the high poly. And Cool. Let's switch over to vertex colors. Let's clean up the rest of scales. It's a little weird. Let's put it up a little bit further. Kind of hard to balance that spot here. Whoa. Damn. Cool. And then we'll do. That's the wrong attribute. Split. Split. You guessed it. Split. I should do a tutorial for that. I need a bit more resolution here just to ensure better alignment. Okay, that's weird. Well, where's that? Cool. Excuse me. Using vertex colors for the ID attribute in your bakes is worth it. Do it. It's the only way. Gives you so much more control over substance. Cool. All right, this shadow here, way too dark. So I have to blend out this shadow, probably all the way through the groin. Then once we do, the blend's pretty good, a little bit sharper maybe. And we really don't want this. No, maybe a little bit sharper, and we'll kind of push scales out like this. Or sharper than. Or I could even do kind of a diagonal. No, I think I want it further up the tail. And then we'll have to fix whatever's going on. Yeah, looks like it's just getting cut off. The tippies, no! It's weird that this one's fine, but it's cut off on these ones. Must be one side is missing what would overlap. It's not actually tiled on the mesh, on the geometry. So that would be I guess both sides really. So let's add it. Right. And we'll do offset. And another. Duplicate. And you can see kind of a pattern showing up. I don't know how big of an issue that will be. Wrong file. Microphone is very low. Okay, well, it's good to know. Hello, Bojo. Welcome. Let me turn it up here. Might be the properties, filters, noise gate. Hello. Maybe that's better. Maybe that's worse. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello, hello. I don't know. No difference there. Noise suppression. That's fine. Okay, well, I'll just move it closer. How about that? Hello, hello. Sorry. ASMR pasta eating experience. Did it just bake the normals, ambient occlusion, and other maps at once? Yes. That's definitely one of the benefits of Substance, is that it will bake all these maps. Then you can add a few more too. Height, bent normals, opacity, if you really wanted to. Which, does this even use a height map? Actually, a little surprised it doesn't. Have to be in here. Oh well. Okay, so updated, exported, and then it's getting blended into this material. Let's go back to, no, that was totally the wrong file. I meant to actually do that in here. Too many pieces of software open. Brain. You can bake things in Blender just fine, and it's probably going to get a lot easier to bake things in Blender with geometry nodes, especially being able to like sample objects. I think eventually I won't be using Substance Painter at all, but we're still a while away from that. All right, so that's this plate shadow here. That's what we're seeing. Boom, boom. So we want to blend that out. We're going to get my planar gradient template. Boom. I'm going to copy this mask, then delete it. Boom. And paste it. Okay. Now we have this nice gradient, which we'll set to multiply. Shrink it down. Let's switch to mask view. Okay. Something like that. Then we can adjust that balance and just push it. Oops. Let's go a little bit further, actually. Yeah. Boom. And then the nice part is, when you update, when you overwrite files in Unity, that means that they update automatically. First, need to learn geometry nodes, and I've had a lot of issues just trying to bake normals. Either the surface is all blue or only baked one part. I've actually been using Yuku Painter. I'm not sure. I may have mentioned it before. Yuku Painter. Just typing it in chat. And they have some better built-in ways to deal with baking. It's still a little unintuitive, but you might have better success with that because it's just a little more polished than standard Blender, for better or worse. Actually, I think I did want to do that. Actually, I can visualize this. Just do some bright color. Make it clear where things are. Boop, boop. Oh, I need to also make sure our scales are cutting out of this mask. This one will switch to multiply as well. We're going to go the other way. See how that goes. Oh. Oh, I left the color on. What the hell? And then the fill for the plate. And set that to subtract. Yeah. Now we got this clean separation. Ah, damn. I left the blue on again. Okay, we can definitely bring out the scales a bit more. I could even do like a diagonal fade in, so then we have even more slope to blend it into. Like maybe we blend on this one instead and just smooth that out right there. I could also use another RGBA mask for just the scales. Yeah, I don't like this harsh angle. I would definitely want to smooth that. Okay. So, why do I keep doing that? Boom, boom, boom. Actually, we'll take this whole thing, move it up till we cover up this one. Let's throw in a slice there. And now we can kind of blend that in a little bit more naturally. Back to here. Actually, export. Save. Boom. Mode. Bake. Oh yeah, I can actually make custom shaders in Substance too. Like I technically can. Okay. Then back to over here. I'm trying to click. Okay, well. Let's flip this one around. Do a linear dodge instead. Come on. We switch this to meh, this looks kind of goofy. Let's do an alpha shape. Thorn. Just have to figure out how these are aligned after bringing one in. There we go. Kind of hard to work with. Okay. A little bit further, a little bit more inward, a little bit further forward. Excuse me, sorry for that. Be right back. All right, back again. Should have baked right. Perfect. Okay, let's disable the color. Save. Come on. Okay, that looks pretty good. Maybe we'll bring it a little bit more forward eventually. We do need one more cut here, though. So let's do that now. We'll do this one. And we'll split it. Actually, before we do any more of that, let's not just split it. Let's start getting our vertex colors set up properly. Actually, I might have the direction backwards on the tail. Damn. Okay, the arrow direction on the tail does point up. It is consistent all the way through. It goes this way. So we need to flip that around. First, we'll do it with the tail. So I just need to... That doesn't work. Flip it around. Right around there. Back to here. Mode big. Save. Export again. Okay, we flipped it around. Much better. Yeah, good thing we added a slice here. We just need to fix that direction now. So back over to here. Go to the material view, we'll save, and then just reload the file. Cool. And now to adjust. All right, my own texture's getting in the way. That's okay. Should be able to match it pretty well. Have to worry about topology here. This is just for texture, so. Maybe one more here. Getting blown up here. Cool. All right, let's get the colors sorted. I've neglected that long enough. One. So there's like a slight wrinkle in the subdivision. Oops. What? Why is it? Did I do that? I don't remember doing that. Why is it pink? I'm in texture paint. I want vertex paint. Okay. Do 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 do. Boom, boom. Goofy. Oh, almost there. You can dissolve this one. Yeah. Turn down the vertex crease there. Crease there. Do, 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 do. Big stretch. These ones are kind of weird here. Just an odd spot. Lots of undulation. All right, export. Save. Painter. Rebake the body. Excuse me. Mode. Bake. Bake. Interesting. It's a little bit lower resolution here. Close. So close. All right, we can bring this lower. I think I'm just going to manually paint this out. Taking a little while to dial this in. Woo! Ooh, sorry, cracked my neck. Oh, right. That looks like a pretty seamless blend, in my opinion. The glow here, in fact, just the glow in general on our texture, I don't think I like that. I don't think I want that. Because for two reasons. First, it is blocking the details of the scales here. Secondly, I don't know how easily I can control the emission through the RGBA color mask because it just says emission strength. I don't see any emission map. So I think we're going to remove those from the bake. Let's go nug tail. And here's what we'll do. We'll make a new collection. We'll call this tail high poly emission. And we'll take this, drop it here. We'll take this, we'll also drop it here. So if I do just here, we get this. Let's make a plane. I like putting things so the origin's at the bottom. All right. Let's add a color. Doesn't really matter what the color is, as long as it's easy to mask. Okay, so this side will be this. And then our other tail high poly will make a mesh. We're going to set this to geometry input, and we'll sample this one. Relative space replace. Okay, so now we have this. We'll switch to flat. Then we're going to do a store vertex colors, copy, paste. And I would like to copy this color. That way it replaces the emission. We have the normals, we have the scales, but no emission is left in this one. Save. Oh, export is usually a good call. Or go here, boom. So many files to jump between. It would be nice to be doing all of this in Blender. Now the body emission is a different color. It is actually quite a different color, so we'll need to update that. All right, that already feels quite a bit better. Now I should be able to blend in the scales a little bit further, which should look more natural. Need to blend out just the very tippy of the tail. Pretty cool. Now we do have a smoothness map. which we should be able to derive from our reflection specular. So if I do red smoothness, we can drop it here. And I can specify which channel that would be. This would be G. Should be here, confirm merge. It's a little weird when we're baking colors a lot of the time. Ooh, fully metallic. That looks good. I like that. But it overrides everything, so let's get rid of that. Hello, Claw. Welcome. This is the avatar we're currently working on. Nug. That's the name of the dragon. And yeah, we're just dialing in some textures and stuff. But welcome, welcome. Overall, it's looking pretty good right now. We're trying to combine this tail texture together. I hope you're having a good day and welcome. Oh, sorry. It's already on. There should be a spot that I can combine textures. Where is that? Oh, we can slide the mask. Interesting. Min max force toggles. Hmm. Looks like it's only in decals that we can combine the masks right here. It has apply to global mask. So we will probably use one of these decals to blend the masks together, even though we won't be doing anything. Okay. So to do that, we need to go to this texture here. We're going to enable one of the additional user channels. User 0 in this case. Go to the base. Enable. We're looking at user 0. Turn it on. Set it to black. Then we'll get a template flat. Drop it here. We're going to add a color selection and grab this color and set this to white. There we go. Okay, so that's the mask we want. Export, save. Now, we want to do, I guess we'll do decal 1 for now. Redo it, I'll redo it. I want to, but all right, so we had 1B was the original mask we were using. But then I want to apply to global mask. We'll use the bottom for A, and we'll say, no. Let me think of that. Let me think of that. Okay. No, apply to, we'll use the second set to R. Save. Okay, export these. Save. Back to here. Now we have the new updated tail texture, mask 1. We'll add that to global mask. Here. Fix. Do I tell it which UV map to use here? Yeah, okay, UV 1. All right, save. It's back to here. Boom, boom. Decal 0. So we'd like to, we pull in the global mask, and then we're applying this one to the other. Black, white, multiply. Okay. So that means this next decal, if we wanted to test, could use 2R, and it should just be the tail without the scales. Ooh, okay, so close. All right, but we're heading the right direction. Just means I would need to switch this to subtract or add. Mix. Average. Place. You know what? We'll keep it on multiply. We'll go here and we'll just flip it. Save. Boom. All right. So that means now we can apply our additional emission just within this upper area. Nope, sorry, that's wrong. This is for the mat cap. So we want to target the scales here and the scales here. That's actually what needs to happen. We're seeing a little bit of a fade here. We'll have to paint that in. Maybe these segments too. Okay. So the scale mask is 1R, I believe. 1B, 1G. Did I change the wrong? No, it's that one. So let me turn this one off. I just want to see this one really quick. Okay, so this is what we're affecting. And we would want to add to the other one. Or so close. So close, yet so far. Yeah, definitely not that one. Adds very close, but it also adds it to everything else. I could try to go the other way. I think it's going to give us the same result though. But if I do 1G here and 2 there, and I do want to. Oh, all right, so add would add the white plus the white. I think I'm missing one mask basically. So I want to do 2 decal changes. The first would be our tail fade. I'd want to multiply it so that it's only here. Then we take this one, the plate scale, apply it to 2R, and we would add. So close. Can I not do it twice? Maybe I would need to apply it to another. So we bring in 2R, take in 1G, and we really changing something. I think there's something wrong here. Okay, so let's reset that. I could also, okay. All right, I think I know how to do this. We're just going to make a second matte cap. We'll make a second matte cap texture. It'll basically be the same. It is the same now. But we just want to use the mask that's just on that scale. And that would be really thought I'd have more control on blending these. It's really quick. Excuse me. I could. Right now, the rest of the body is getting affected. That's really the main issue. Now, I'm kind of thinking we're going to get rid of the scale texture. Hello, Arctic. Welcome. That way I could mask just this section in. Hmm. Damn, I really feel like that should have worked. Let's decal 1. I want to decal 2 to work. Okay, so I'm guessing that this masking here, when I blend them, that's not working as I would expect. So close. So yeah, maybe let's... Okay, well, if we want to adjust the matte cap texture, aren't we going the wrong way anyway? We want to look at 1B. That's the one we want to write to. And 2R is what's going to write to it. And it is, but the texture's too strong. Damn. Okay. 2R is this mask. I need one decal to write to 2R, replacing the tail. It's fucking goofy as hell. Okay, 1R. Let's turn off this one. I want it to multiply to R. Right. Okay. Which means 2R should be a texture in here. All right, I give up. We're going to have to reevaluate how we're going to do that. Okay. So now the texture is blending pretty nicely. The matte cap we were hoping to get onto here, but we're struggling to do that. I can use a second matte cap. That's the one I wanted to use. You can see, but we're affecting too much. Want to work. Maybe it's because they're on separate UV maps. Okay. It's also slightly different in color. Which means whatever color we are using in here is the right one. Boom. That's already 11:05. I will be kind of ending the stream. I'm not sure if I'll get on later, but I have to drive a little bit today, so we'll see how the timing looks there. Holy moly, woly poly, is that the great never failing Sam Detter? No, hello, Nightus Excalibur. Welcome. Welcome back. How you doing? Is that Hanma? Welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing good. We're working on this dragon right now. You know, I wonder... You know, the resolution isn't too bad on the tail here. Why don't I just continue the tail normally? That'll probably work just fine. That's the wrong file. Getting a little too fancy then. How are you, my great champion of blending models? We're doing good. We're doing good. We're exploring, making cool models. Nothing too crazy right now. But definitely looking forward to the new year. So I hope you're gonna have everyone out there is gonna have a good one. Working on anything fun lately, Hanma? I have a personal commission I'd like to ask of you, but I already have a fully rigged model with facial shape keys, and I just want it touched up a little with VRC facial blend shapes. How much would that cost, if even possible? Why don't you send me some screenshots of the model so I can see what we're working with? Boom, 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 boom. You know what? That does look pretty good already. Look up Red Knight Lady Low Poly by Mooncat. Oh, very cool. Less of a VR chat model, more of a. Where's this VR chat? Doesn't say. Seems more like a game studio. Unreal Engine. You know, if it has these, you should have what you need right here. If it has these shape keys on it already, if it has the shape keys like this on it, you should just be able to drop in Jerry's face tracking, and it should work. Because these are the AR kit shape keys. So if it has that already, it should be good to go. Hopefully. I mean, I suppose there's always potential surprise around the corner, but I have expressions, yes, but talking blend shapes I made before, so my mouth just closes, opens and closes for all vowels. Dun, dun, dun. Interesting. No, sorry, those aren't expressions. These are the AR kit micro expressions right here. Mouth right, mouth roll, mouth shrug. These ones right here. If you look at your character in Blender like this, and you go over to shape keys, if it's got a big list, if it's got that same list right here, then all you need is the AR kit prefab and this face tracking template. There, dropping that in chat. But yeah, all you would do is install it, either VRC Fury or whatever, and you just need, if you use VRC Fury, VF ARKit VRC FT, just drop that into your character and you should be good to go. Well, you need facial tracking software stuff, but boom, boom, boom. So let's go back to Unity. This one, we're going to disable RGBA color masking really quick. Let's just export now before we get too far down the line. I got one hour until I gotta go. Nice, that held up really well. Good, that's gonna be a huge relief for me. Alrighty. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Cool, that is awesome. I was really set on doing that tiling texture, I guess. I shouldn't have even worried. Boom, beautiful. Alright, still need to add the glow, but I just wanted to make sure everything was holding up pretty well, and it is. Awesome. Let me get rid of this little smudge there. Or is that the lighting? I don't know. Anyway, hopefully I didn't overwhelm you there, Hanma. I would be happy to take a look. You just let me know. And worst case scenario, just send me the blend file and I'll poke around in it and see where things end up. All right. Bevel. We're gonna do that, set it to %. Darn, I guess these other ones are not creased. So let's crease first. Then bevel. Right there. Then we'll deselect. First, vertex paint. Boom. Still pretty manual. I swear there's a way to like select the next. Blender, select next. Select next active. Yeah, yeah, good enough. Then we'll do edge loops. All right, that makes it a lot easier. Set. Turn that off. Boom. Cool. Don't face tracking. What I wanted in particular was three things: making my speaking blend shapes look different. Each vowel, where's the character? Because doing facial expression animation of the face makes the polygons appear vividly and verify the textures look as up close as 4K. There's rigging. Okay. Gotcha. Had to make a new Discord. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, send me a message. Miss your face. I'll be back on in a second. Or I'll just put it back on right now. I was eating spaghetti this morning, so it was getting a little messy. All right, I guess less spaghetti, more what am I trying to say? Pasta. Then we'll collapse these. That should be pretty good. You shaved without me. Leave my pasta alone. Refresh that. Yes, I did shave. It grows in a little too quick nowadays. Did I export? Yeah, okay, perfect. It's a little smudge in the middle, sort of. Cool. That's freaking awesome. I wasn't sure. I was not sure how well I was going to hold up, and it held up super well. Very cool. Exciting. Satisfying. Clean up the neck scales a little bit. Just a little bit of better spacing. And the color on these ones should be a little different. The body scales, they should be a little bit brighter. Kind of like a paler yellow, also a little thinner. Okay, so let's do that. And Okay. Let's see, every other scale. And we'll take all these ones, separate them. Tab A, 0.60. We'll do linear and projected from view. And we should just be able to scale them down a little ways. So that they fit. Cool. Damn. And zooming me all around. But yeah, sorry, for that commission, I would say send me the file. I will review and then just get back to you on what all needs to be done. It's fine, don't worry. Okay. Sweet chili sauce. Bojo, since they're separate mesh, how do you avoid flickering when moving since they can't be separated and rendered one before the other? So what I'm making here, it does look quite similar to the mesh that's in game, but this is the high poly version. So the reason I'm going to Substance Painter is when we bake these, we're turning all that high poly oh, sorry. I'll wait till it's done. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry, it gets a little laggy when I'm baking. But we're taking that geometry and we're baking it down into a texture that we can load. So there is no overlapping. In game, all of this is now purely texture. There's no geometry of any kind. The reason it looks like there's geometry is because we are able to bake things like normal maps, and those fake geometry. They fake depth and angles and like how lighting would fall across that surface. This can be bigger. Send some messages really quick. There is one tiling texture we will want to include on the tail, and that's the scale pattern. These larger plate scales. Actually, we can just bake them. Yeah, why not? It's already working for these ones. We'll do it there. Then it's just one texture. I don't have to worry about it tiling at all. And it will look good. Cool. So we'll take from the low poly body, we're going to duplicate this one, send it to our high poly collection. Then we'll turn on curves. No, we yes, we will. Cool. So this is our duplicate. Let's switch which curve it is looking at. Boom, boom. Hmm. Is it rotated? There's no blend, just FBX and texture unless you want me to make one. No, that's totally fine. You can send it all as one file. Sorry, still responding. Also throwing out my back, twisting. Ugh. Give me 4 minutes because I got to do a mega link, not got Discord Nitro. That's A-okay.
I'm gonna go to the restroom really quick. I'll be right back, everyone. 1 second. I'm back. I got another 30, 40 minutes or so, and then I'll have to get on the road. I would like to show a recent Abby I've made. Just found a video of showcasing my part of FX. Completely up to you. Yeah, feel free to drop it. Boom. Perfect. Okay, I probably won't be able to take a look today at the avatar. Ah, whatever. Let's take a look. And where did my music go? And yeah, you can drop that video as well. And there's the download. Send. Oh, is that that's Arthur? No. What's her name? King Arthur, right? Pretty sure. Excalibur, duh. I knew that. Cascanda Artori. Oh, gotcha. Excaliblast. That's dope. Bazam. This is a commission as well. Ooh, I like the little sprite lines there. Damn. Yeah, 20 pound. Oh damn. Oh, interesting. Oh, it summons in a little world. Very cool. Ah, that's cool. Constraints for the world thing is just a particle mesh with world space. Okay, heck yeah. That's smart. Hmm. Oh, that one's cool. I like the ground cracking one. Is that shaders too? Just the... Or sorry, particles? Yeah, that one's... I like that one a lot. Crack, mesh with cool texture sheet. Okay, interesting.
crack mesh. Sorry. I don't know. Why is this rotated? No rotation there or here. Negative y. And y. Why is it? Why is it turned? Why is it on its side? So they're triggered by rotation. Time for snacks and gaming. Have a nice rest of your year, all. Same to you, Arctic. See you in 2026. But enjoy your snacks, enjoy your gaming. We'll catch you later. Triggered by rotations. I believe Avatar Dynamics allows you to trigger things based on velocity, how fast one object enters another. And so you can use that for swiping, basically. Not sure why I have to spin that to make it work, but that's all I've got to do, then so be it. Let's take a source object. I'm going to take this guy, duplicate him, move him back. This will be the scale for our other spot over here. Like that. Okay, these have a decent amount of space in between them. They also have quite a bit of sharpness. And the scaling thing is throwing this off. It's flat. So why is there? Oh, it must be the shrink wrap. Shrink wrap. Context and create a max velocity on Fizzbones to recreate the effect of having a limit and animation on it. So when hitting the max limit can do a toggle. Made some cool things using that for Quest. That's awesome. All right, let's throw in base.zip. Poses. Okay, here's the avatar. All right, so you got a bunch of animations. And then can you just send me on Discord like an itemized list of the changes you'd want to make? Simple terms, I'll have an invisible fizzbone on a random object on my sword. Once it hits 45 degrees, aka its max limit, I can do a slash effect. Okay, interesting. Look at that Unreal Engine skeleton. Wait, doesn't Auto Rig have a... I feel like I should be able to convert this. We'll come back to that. Speaking, blend shapes look different for each bow instead of a flapping bone. Re poly the character because doing facial expressions or animations, the face makes the polygons appear vividly. That sounds like you're saying that the expression looks weird, like the polygons are showing up. That's actually an import thing. So she's so cute, but in VR chat she looks a bit stale. Same as all non-VR chat based models. Really, I'm not good enough to make it look as cute. Oh, well, she looks purple here. So what I would say is, if I was going to do facial expressions for you, the first thing that I would do is probably make a facial rig. So I would get the weights and I would animate them in order to make those shape keys. So if I make that rig, then you would have probably a pretty easy time of animating the face, saving that as a shape key, and then that way you could make your expressions pretty quickly. Because either way, that's what I would do if I wanted to make facial expressions, is rig that face. Even in my hands, I can see it sometimes. A certain shader point makes the polygons for some reason. Let me mask the polygons for some reason, but I can see, maybe I can see triangles. Interesting. That must be the we're going to copy this path. Go here. Make a collection. Everything goes in that collection. And we're going to set this up. Boom. Okay. So I'm guessing when you're referring to the polygons, it's this, like the shading stuff that's going on there. Like how the color of the face is kind of changing. Then probably also just some sharp movement. Well, for the shading changing, this thing. Yes, you have the texture applied. I think it would be more transparent. Well, for the
colors changing, make sure that on your FBX import you have legacy blend shape enabled. And that should change, that should prevent the lighting changing now, at the very least. And then sorry, got a question on Discord really quick. I'm gonna stick with VNeon, or can I use another program that uses VRM? I still didn't decide which program I want to use. Just know that I need the VRM file for whichever ones I'm choosing between. For the I believe the file is currently just for VNeon. Can I switch other platform? Considering case, my opinion. Okay. And the first download is the correct. Yeah, that one. Okay. Okay. So you said the textures. That's the scene, not the base file. So we have these poses, we got the parts, we got the textures in this folder. I really should just do Unity package. Let's see what's in here. Loki been working on her slowly for over a year, but gave up due to how it looked in VRC the first time. My latest one looks decent, but it's 8 to 80 megabytes. Download because I have to make 4K textures for my skin so the fishnets don't look like she. And then the triangles are less noticeable. For Quest, it looks kind of awful when doing gestures or hand movements. Are you decimating at all for Quest, or are you just using it like as is? There. Okay. How many materials in here? Toga, head, hair, eyes, cornea, eyes, body, and blin. No mesh compression. I simply changed shaders and textures down to 32-bit for random stuff, 512 for high qual stuff. Perfect. Damn, that's a lot of prefabs. Oh, I see they're all separate. TGA files will also be more expensive. Um, you might want to eventually convert these to just PNGs. My fault, Mooncat made it a Unity pack first time I was on Unreal only, and I was crying to her in emails. Fair enough. First time I had to use Blender and export it. Gotcha, gotcha. Well, there's a lot of things that certainly just as time continues, you'll probably get a better feel for and kind of how things work. Um, I see what you mean with the weight painting, though. Yeah, that one's a little, well, maybe not too bad. I guess you would want hair to kind of squish. Maybe, maybe not. That looks normal. This one looks a little weird though. You know what? I take that back. That is probably how you'd want it to move. All right. Gotcha. All right. So for like skin detail like this here, and the uh fishnets, you might want to look into learning Poyomi decals. That does get into like kind of figuring out how shaders work and stuff. So it might be a little bit more complex, but generally that's kind of the direction you'd want to go. As for the hair, I think if you just use a Poyomi tune and set it to, sorry, I should have duplicated this, but late now. We're going to go transparent clipping. The double-sided by hitting call. You know what? Actually, I think they have a 2-pass. Something like that. And then maybe, okay, just cut out. That's what we want. There we go. We can do some shading. Wrapped usually looks pretty good for hair. I have full body, so moving in this avatar feels very rigid, stiff compared to a lot of others, but it's not awful. Okay. A little bit darker. The main thing you need is anisotropic for the hair. So anisotropic's going to give it some nice like side reflections. You can actually offset it. Kind of push it a little bit lower into the hair. Maybe like right there or so. That'll give it a nice sheen. Turn up the power even more. Boom. And then we could do another one, maybe a little bit sharper, a little bit stronger. Push that into that same reflection for like a blend. Now the sharp edges, really to get rid of that, what you need to look for is your alpha options, and dithering's really one of the better ways to deal with that. It'll just soften it like a little bit. Could also out mod it, mod that alpha a little bit thicker, perhaps. That looks a little bit better. Then alpha pre-multiply, boom, enable that. 50-50 on that one. Yeah, if you push this gradient, what it does is it kind of does, it's not transparency technically, it's like pixel, like a plays around with the pixels a little bit. You can kind of see it, but I don't know how well. Something like that. The main thing that is going to make hair look realistic is your normals. So what's really making this look weird, I'm just going to overwrite the file. Hopefully this doesn't explode anything. Or no, I could go here. We could bring out the version I just made. And we'll just take that hair material. Drop it there. Sure. Body. Something like that. Okay. So if I go back to my Night Lady and we go to the hair, see how sharp it is just in game? Like, or just the normals here? That's pretty challenging to work with. What you can do is add a normal smooth. You can just, oh, not smooth by angle, sorry. Normals, normal edit. And we want to change kind of where it's smoothing. If we add a empty, put it in the middle, sample that object. Okay, and now we get this nice kind of fall off here. We don't want it to be full value, just like somewhere in between there. But you can see already how it's making that look a lot softer. So, pull that out. Save. Back to here. Boom. And that'll make it just look a little smoother. So, I don't know how clear that's looking in boom, boom. I can't move the hair. All right. It's not super different. No, actually, I take that back. Yeah, it does look softer. Especially right here on the top. Boom, and we could, of course, push that even further if we wanted to, but I don't want to break the normals. So I'm like 50-50. Yeah, anyway, smoothing out the normals would be really nice. I'm actually going to delete that, get rid of it, and then add a cube that we subdivide the heck out of. Doop, doop, doop. Shade that smooth. I'm going to move it up. Boom, something like that. Wendy, welcome. 2 years. Oh my goodness. Coming up on 3, I guess. Well, I appreciate the resub. Welcome, welcome. Wow, 2 years. I do. You caught me right as I was heading out. Got some New Year's plans today, so I'm gonna be doing some driving in a second. But welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a good day, Wendy. Potentially, is it a no? It's not a new year for you just yet. I'm sure it's getting there. There we go. All right. See how much that helps? That's really what's going to make probably the biggest difference. It'll get rid of these kind of crunchiness and then give you this nice smooth, much smoother interaction. Though we're still getting some intersection here. Not sure what's going on there. Looks like there's just some geometry missing. Have I shown you my... I have to show you my drone show eventually. Hell yeah, that would be awesome. Show me the drones! And then rim lighting. Sorry, I guess I'm just winding down the day, just farting around with this hair shader. Rim lighting's gonna make a huge difference. We're gonna add some multiply to that. Bring it down. Mix the base color. Turn down that blend. Something a little bit darker. Thank you, Ariso. Welcome. Happy New Year to you as well. Good morning. It's so shiny. Yeah, we're getting that nice glossiness. Hanmo was asking for some, had some questions on it. Editing. Cleaning up an avatar. Hair specifically, so we're just kind of getting in there and farting around with this. The real issue with hair is the unfortunate reality that transparency sucks in video games. It's actually just really bad. So usually you've got to figure out your own solutions. For this one, I would probably even go and blur the actual texture, because this alpha map is really harsh. I would blur this a little bit. Just very slightly. And that way you could use the dither a little bit more. Yeah, looking pretty good. This is actually Hanma, which just had some questions regarding their character. And I was reviewing it in order to kind of quote a commission. But we've been working on our dragon boy, Nug, right down here. This is where Nug's at right now. It's looking pretty good. We just finished up the textures on the bottom of the tail there. And I'd say he's looking pretty fantastic. And unfortunately, everyone, I do have to get going though. Amazing. I love it. Good. Good. I appreciate everyone showing up. Ariso, Wendy, Hanma, Excalibur. Who else is hanging out here? Arctic. Anyone else that is lurking. Bojo. I hope you're all having an amazing end of your year. Claw. I will probably be back for a little bit, a very, very tiny stream, maybe in like an hour, and probably just for another hour, and then it's the New Year. So, Happy New Year, all. Have fun tonight. Be safe. Same to you. Same to everyone. Please be safe, but please have fun. And I'll see you all a year from now, because that's how time works. All right, everyone. See you soon. Catch you later. Looking forward to hanging out with all of you in the new year. See you then. Happy New Year's. Bye, everyone. Happy New Year. Bye.